Apologies that there wasn't morning video. I don't know if I will release this soon or after the part 2 of yesterday's video, where I nearly got into a crash with my own damn fault. Listened to a couple of videos. There's this guy named Poggy. He makes videos about movies, especially a lot about Nolan movies. He made a video about Dark Knight, about how Joker won, and I agree to a large degree with him. Some of his points are a bit too, I arrived at the conclusion, therefore I will bend the points to my, conclusion, but okay. He talks about people, it's almost 20 years ago, 18 years ago, in Dark Knight, about people on the two ferries who didn't. There was a vote on one, and on the other there were convicts, and convicts, of course, they did what they should have done. They threw away the detonator. Normal people, now they voted depending on the script or the final version, between 63 and 74% to kill the others. First of all, I want to disagree with Poggy. No, that's not how democracy works. Democracy, you have various mechanisms that block so-called tyranny of majority. So, yeah, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'll be alive in 45 minutes. Okay. So, he posits there that people voted, therefore people executed. Basically, they just select the person who would basically pull the trigger. Now, first of all, I know my maths. If you have 396 people who vote to kill a couple hundred other people, you will have one person who won't hesitate. They might not be too proud, but they will do it. I would be able to do this. This is not like a big secret. The problem is that I wouldn't be voting for killing those. I would be voting against. So, because based on principles. And yes, Alfred did did burn the forest down to get the son of a bitch in the movie, as he said. But that's the beauty about the forests, they regrow. Society regrows. You can push it past a certain point, and that's true. I'm not arguing that the Joker was wrong. I am arguing that on a long enough timeline, you will see those things return. Because people who think that world should burn, they're there every day. I know some of them. So the civilization and society are in constant war with breaking up of certain ideals, whether they are democratic or not. There are certain ideals that bind us, and that make sure that we don't break. Why do you think it's so bad in the US right now? Institutions are broken by design. And programs that would be able to alleviate something, they are being turned off, disabled. It's basically how you coup or how you take over the country 101. Ideally, you make it self-tear apart, although that depends whether you want to later govern a said country or not. If you don't give a flying F about it, then you don't care. Let people kill each other, If they are not careful, they will make US look like Rwanda. Except with better social engineered reasons to kill the other. So I partially disagree with Pogi's framing there. I think he went a bit too far. Like, yeah, Joker absolutely won. I didn't think it was even a doubt. Like, I never thought that people thought otherwise. It was kind of obvious from the movie. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, voting to kill people is not a democracy, at least in normal situations. First of all, right to live is not something you can give up in a vote. so the vote would be moot. It's like inalienable rights, right? Second of all, he takes issue with the sonar that Batman created. Very true. He has a point. That Batman violated civil liberties of people of Gotham. That's all very nice, but we know from Edward Snowden that that's something that US government does normally every day to everyone. So yeah, listen. We probably had all situations where we were nervous, where we, I don't know, drove too fast a bit because we had to go to the hospital or something like that. There is a difference between breaking the law so you don't break the greater law and just plain breaking the law. Yeah, Batman didn't give back what he gained in those couple of hours. What do you think he gained? Do you think he, I don't know, stalked later someone based on that knowledge? Or did he, I don't know, gathered this data? No. And I want to get back to the what Joker says. When the chips are down, those civilized people, they will tear each other apart. When the chips were down, the guy who talked about how tough he is and how he would blow up the other ferry, he wasn't bold enough to do this. When the chips were down, he literally wasn't able to tear the society apart. I'm so smart. I should make like Lindsay Ellis did, like ingenious videos about topics. I'm talking about topics because I have no idea what I would even talk about. So that's a counterpoint, and that's a gentle counterpoint to Poggy. Like, I get it. Once you get an idea in your head, you get it. You see everything in that way. Besides, you want to make a video, so yeah. And again, I largely agree with his point that Joker won. I just don't agree that he won completely because most people on the ferry would kill the other people. That's something that's very well known in psychology. How many, just, I don't know, 10 people maybe will watch this video. How many of you would, oh, I don't know, go to the burning building to save someone? How many? And I'm not like talking about gently burning building, I'm talking about you are fucking dying burning building 70% of the time. And the person you're looking for might be asphyxiated by the time you get to them. You might burn with them. See you in a moment. I'm back. So, how many of you? 5%? 10%? Above 15%, I will stop believe you. Like maybe if it was your kid or something, yeah, maybe. But I'm talking about generic burning building with someone inside, not even necessarily a kid. Would you? It's not easy to answer. Right now I probably wouldn't. Back in my better days when I was physically fit, I did, because now I would only be a body on the ground and I would achieve nothing. When I was in peak physical condition, yeah, let's just say that it was different calculus back then. But it's still not an easy, situation. It's a situation that you need to do something different. Someone shoots, for example, you hear shots, you run to the shots, to the sound of shots, not away, safety, but to the sound of shots, because something bad is happening. Now, just so I don't give you a false sense of, like, the fire that I entered was very small. Firefighter called me a dumbass, but, well, it's a firefighter's duty. Because probably everything would be fine, given that they arrived on the scene like 5 minutes later and the place was saved, and 20 minutes later there wasn't fire. So yeah, I get his point. That was unnecessary. But still, so yeah, but I would probably, back then when I was in peak physical condition, I would enter the building if it was on fire and collapsing, unless it was collapsing this moment and I had a chance of getting to the person that was in need and getting them out, not getting myself necessarily out, I probably would. Now, no chance in hell, because I wouldn't get to this person. I'm too fat, too broken, and stuff like this. Too old for heroics. So, I know something about what happens with society when the chips are down and civilized people break. A lot of people break. A lot of people can't handle this. There are always few people who can handle this. And sometimes it depends very much on them to save the day. Now, yes, they're not going to save the day every time. Sometimes they might just take over a country or something. That happens. Society doesn't break that easily. Also, I am sorry, but the scene where Joker, says, oh yes, kill this person within an hour or I will blow up a hospital. Kudos to Nolan for showing semi-realistic portrayal of this, but the crowd wouldn't gather so fast. People wouldn't start shooting unless there was enough people there. And competent security services would be able to handle that. Hour is too short of a time. You give them 2-3 hours for a task like this, and there is a chance you are successful, really. Especially in Gotham, which is like equivalent of Chicago in a real world, or New York or something. Metropolis city is like, or metro city is like more New York, and I think the Gotham is Chicago. So you're talking a couple million people, no subway. Yeah, you have this rail cars taking your AR-15 and I don't know, going to TV station that every police in town will try to block. Yeah, that might take more than 45 minutes, genius. And his plan from the beginning of the movie, I am sorry, but it looks fantastic. It's acted greatly. But it is such an unbelievable plan. I mean, the chances that it goes without a hitch are, let's just say, small. So yes, Joker did win, and he definitely at the very least left several scars on Gotham that would take decades to heal. But I wouldn't say that he won that decisively, that 100%. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I would say that convicts are basically the only decent people there. Not including Mr. Fox and of course Alfred. Yes, I was in places where civilization was completely broken down. If you weren't, then please don't talk about stuff like how it looks when civilization breaks down, when society breaks down. And if you ever saw, I've seen mob execution, like by angry mob. By the way, of the wrong person. Though I would argue that the person that was in the crib would always be wrong, but that's a different thing. So, yeah. Very good video. I would say 7 out of 10. Work on not having a bias on your own ideas. Check your ideas against, other things, other possibilities. Okay. Now, I am going to go to my house and have a multiple organ system failure. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Okay, have fun. I like you. Take care. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching this. Goodbye.